Hello Pisces, welcome to February. This is your forecast for the month. As always, I like to begin with some channeled information. I arrive at that by selecting all the cards that I'm going to be working with. I bless them, I meditate, and I see what sort of signs, symbols, and messages come through for each sign. As I was doing that for your sign, I got this sense of absorption, or even for some of you reaching sort of like a saturation point. And when I distilled that a little bit to see what it would mean for you, I wrote down a few words. I said that this month would be great for either sort of bringing in knowledge and learning. It could also be a month to do any sort of exploration, research, expansion, because I really got this sense of yearning or wanting to know more, and that it would be able to kind of stick with you, whatever experiences that you brought into your life. On the flip side of the coin, I think for some of you, there's a general note to be careful to not overdo it. That was the sort of saturation thing that I was picking up on. So in social sort of experiences, you may have this feeling of being overwhelmed by all of the information coming to you, all of the energy that people are putting at you. And I think what's important in these situations is simply to know when enough is enough. Don't push yourself so hard and be an overachiever this month. Don't try to take on all of the sort of emotional baggage that a friend, a family member, or someone else in your life may be trying to offload onto you. And really only bring in what you feel is of value this month is going to somehow help you with development and moving forward. That's not to say that you can't be a good friend, that you can't help people, but I think that there's a balance and some boundaries that are necessary this month for your energy and also your mental and physical health. So try to find that balance, try to work more on absorbing what's important. And in that respect, think of things in your life that are going to elevate and to really bring you to a higher space. So when you're eating, when you're drinking, when you're listening to music, when you're engaging in activities with people, make sure that they're all sorts of things that are reinforcing positive aspects of your life, brightening and lightening up your energy. And if you do that, what you'll be soaking up or absorbing is going to help you. So if you're surrounded, however, by negative experiences, that could compound, and I don't want that to happen for you. I want you to go higher, not sort of sink down. So maximize that ability to soak up. That's really what I saw. It was almost like a sponge or like a tree sort of drinking everything in. And that's a beautiful energy for meditation, for knowledge expansion, for trying to sort of master things that perhaps in the past have eluded you. This is the month where you can overcome all of those and learn, grow, and expand. Let's go ahead now and expand your forecast here to look at past, present, and future influences, as well as health, wealth, love, and destiny. I'm going to pull the camera down, spread out all of the cards, and then one by one, we'll go through all of the aspects of the month and relate these cards to you. I'll begin with the past, present, and future influences. We have a card that volunteered right off the bat, so I'm going to honor that even though it flew out into the side there, but let's look at the other ones. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead now and pull your Catalyst card. Catalyst, of course, is a card that connects all of the different messages that we see in front of us and helps us make good decisions on how to maximize the positive energy in the month. These are your expanded forecast cards. The analysis for all of this will be coming in just a second, so thanks for being patient. Some beautiful cards with growth just as I'm pulling this, so I can't wait to talk about what I'm seeing here. All right, let me pull the camera up and we'll get straight into all of the elements of this month. Let's begin with your Catalyst card. The Catalyst, again, is sort of what's affecting all the action, how you can embrace positive change, and very interesting that we have a transformation card here, Death. And I like this particular illustration for Death because it shows that as we walk through different paths in our lives, there are decisions that we have to make. There are skins that we have to shed in order to go to the next level. Looking at death more as a doorway or as a portal shows us that whatever changes are going on in this moment, they're necessary and they're going to allow us to grow. And that was something that I saw at the beginning, was this ability to sort of absorb, to acquire new knowledge. So for some of you, you may be in that stasis where you're deciding right before you're ready to make a change that you just have to sit with it, or you might be on the other side. I don't know if many of you are in the middle there, but I do feel the sense of pause when I was channeling. So whatever side of the portal you're on, or if you decide to jump through that portal this month, just know that it's okay and it's going to bring growth and shifting in your life. In fact, we're going to fast forward just a little bit. This is a very unique version of justice here. The card was reversed, and this goddess here, when I first got the deck, I looked it up. The whole scene that you see here is actually Persephone and Demeter, and kind of indicating that the change of seasons. For those of you that aren't familiar with the myth, basically mother and daughter were separated when the god of the underworld fell in love with the daughter, and the mother would mourn her absence, and when she returned, everything would grow again. So what I want to remind you of right now is that whatever loss or change or whatever's been going on, there's this renewal or growth opportunity that's going to follow it. And that's what I'm seeing here, is basically two sides of this. And very interesting that we saw Demeter and Persephone and then death, because in mythology, that's basically the story, is that sort of separation that you feel sometimes between either a dream and the acquisition of that dream, or loved one being lost, or separation and then reunion. And so these themes are coming through for your sign this month. Keep the hope. Trust that something better is coming, or there might be a return on the energy that you've put out there, or the hopes that you've put out there, or you might see someone again that you haven't seen in a while. I get that sense of nostalgia, reunion, or renewal. No matter what it is, the period that you're in right now may be that pause or maybe the difficult transition, but there's something better in the future. Let's go ahead now and get to the past influences, since we already looked at the future. And we have the Ace of Earth here, or the Ace of Pentacles, which is a great place to be for past influences. Again, looking at how we sort of see all of the elements, all of the seasons, and you sort of smack dab in the center. This almost reminds me a little bit of the Magician card, which is a decision that you have to make on where to focus, realizing that there are a lot of options in front of you. And this happens with change sometimes, because you can be in this comfort zone for sometimes years or decades, and all of a sudden something happens, whether it's your job ending, a loved one departing, or a need to sort of make room for something new, like a birth or a marriage. And so when that change happens, all of a sudden there's an agitation, but there can also be a jubilation involved with it. And for some of you, it's mourning something that you lost, whether it was that union or connection with someone, or maybe it's the independence and now you have someone else in your energy. Whatever it is, make peace with it, because this is an ace. Pentacles are good. It's about new opportunity on the horizon. So I'm encouraging you to embrace the positive energy associated with change. And for many of you, this could be a new job, a new love interest, or personal growth. A lot of what I was kind of tapping into before I pulled any cards. So I love Ace of Pentacles. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. The only thing that I'm going to note is that for some of you, this could take up to 1 year. We see all 4 seasons or all 4 elements there. And for me, that's just kind of a reminder to take your time, okay? As we look at present influences, how you're feeling throughout the month, what could either pull you ahead or kind of weigh you down here. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse, or the Mother of Water here. And as you can see, there's a lot of emotional energy that you can tap into. This can be something, when in the upright position, that could be beneficial. When you think of really charismatic people in your life, they have passion, they have drive, they can get people excited about that. And whether they're tapping into the opportunity or the need to change, or even sometimes the sadness and trying to use that as a motivational force for people to affect a change or a shift, that can be good. On the flip side, some of you could be kind of pulled in a direction that isn't advantageous for you with your emotions. You could let jealousy, sadness, or an inability to sort of be happy for others pull you back. So try to honor your emotions, but don't let them rule you. Be the one, be kind of like Artemis this month and rein it in. and powerfully understand that emotions can work in your benefit, but try to find a way to channel and disperse any sort of negativity before you get involved with interpersonal communication, because I think that's where it could hold you back. We talked at pretty good length about this Persephone and Demeter card here that we're seeing here. Let's also talk about the aspect of justice, which for many of you means, with the card reversed, that it's time to step away from something in your life. And when we see that Death card, the Ace of Pentacles, and this showing a seasonal or shift kind of message, what I'm seeing is it's time. It's like a changing of the guard. So you might be in a situation where a new boss comes into your life, or a new manager somewhere, or there could be a decision that you have to make, and it's uncomfortable because you know that it is not sort of like black and white. There's shades of gray. You have to do what's best, and you have to sort of act with all the information in front of you. But know that once that line in the sand has been drawn, once the decision has been made, you can move forward, you can focus on growth and let go of whatever this pain or uncomfortable situation is. Action is required this month. For some of you, I feel like it is stepping away from something or telling someone no. Usually, justice reverse, it's not a yes. It's deciding no more of this, it's time to move on, or I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't a great month for you if you're trying to take someone to court or pursue some sort of legal issue. I think you really want to sit with the facts this month and really let all of them sink in before making a movement. I think next month would be better for legal type endeavors. Let's turn our attention now to the messages around health. And with health, we have this beautiful card here saying seek. What I see with this is your ability to meditate, to find alternate ways of being healthy, not just traditional exercise. This would be Eastern medicine, and really trying to find a way to nurture your body, take care of yourself. Rest is paramount with this card, and especially if you're going through these sort of transitional portals that we saw, a change in your life, a loss in your life, a period where you've made that decision and you're on one side or the other side of change. It's important then to sort of take stock in your life and think, how do I feel now? What do I want next? This card is filled with the color green, which I associate with the heart chakra. And I think that you want to take special care of emotional sort of well-being this month, and also heart health, because whenever I see green or something focused on the heart chakra, it's really speaking to being kind to that area. Reduce stress, eat well, exercise, and make sure that if you haven't had a physical in a while, you talk to the doctor and check that out as well. Really good things going on in the wealth sector. We have a manifestation card, more green here. This is showing that growth is possible, perhaps a little bit of a delay for you. The reason I think that there might be a delay for many of you is when we looked at death and justice in reverse, but justice really being that Persephone and Demeter card, showing that there have to be some sort of a sacrifice, loss, or a trade-off necessary for that. So this could mean a trade-off of your resources or time. So in order to get a promotion at work, you might have to travel more. And you have to sort of weigh that decision and decide if that's what you want. Some of you may decide to delay something until you're a little bit in a better place. So for those of you that might have children in your life, you might think, you know what, I'm gonna wait on trying to get ahead because I wanna spend more time with the family. Or if you have an opportunity in front of you, the time or energy required to kind of go after it right now may feel like it's not sort of copacetic and what you want to do. So look at everything. There's trade-offs and only you can decide. All of that being said, I don't see a delay of more than 1 year for many of these things for you. So if the first opportunity that comes your way doesn't feel good, there are more ahead for you. And it really has to feel good on all levels. And that's why we sort of see this human connected to all of the elements. It has to feel like this is really serving all of the necessary boxes, checking everything off and feeling right for you. Don't be afraid to take a risk though. I will say this, if things are okay and it's just fear holding you back, you always want to check that and think, you know what, there's never going to be a perfect moment. There can be something that really feels like it's the best possible fit, but there's always going to be something that you have to stretch for. And we see that even in this card here, that you have to sometimes go a little bit further than you think you can, and all of a sudden it becomes something that's natural and you realize I actually could do it all along. So keep that in mind as well. Looking into the love area of your life, we have a peace card here, and it says, remember that it's only love that you want to focus on. Only love is real. And when I'm looking at the dove here too, that of course is about peace. You could be deciding for some of you to just bury the hatchet this month. When I see death and justice, in the justice in the future, death kind of as your catalyst card that's really affecting everything. I think it's time to let go. It's time to transform. It's time to move on. And that seasonal energy in the justice card is also saying, let's change. Let's allow for growth to come through. And I think that's really what this is about. Also, just choose the path of peace. Easier said than done. It's sometimes in the moment, it feels really satisfactory to just kind of throw out whatever you have on your mind. Pause if you can and realize that doing this could, it could create a fissure or some sort of a block between you and someone that you love. So don't allow one momentary sort of outburst to destroy something that you love. On the flip side of that as well, if there is something that needs to come out, find the right way to do it, because you don't want that to kind of bubble up and become one of these moments where you just explode. In Destiny, we have a message that is underlining and emphasizing love again, saying that when you lean toward that energy of love, it leads you in the right direction. And what we were seeing here in peace is that only love is real. So all of the illusions of power, of greed, of anger, all these other things around you, they're just trying to sort of tempt you, distract you, pull you off your path. And when you get back into a heart-centered place, trying to see things from everyone's point of view, trying not to blame people, understanding that everybody on their highest levels does operate from love, but in this physical body sometimes gets distracted by other things. That's what's going to bring you back to a place of power and also break through some of the illusions that they might be living in. Remember that you love them, you love yourself, and remind them of that as well. Because when you approach something from peace and love, it's hard for the other person to continue to exist in a sort of hateful energy. When you meet hate with hate, it boils up. When you meet it with love, it diffuses it on some level, or at the very least confuses the person that you're working with. So it can be a great sort of tactic for creating change, for negotiation. When it's peaceful, when it's non-explosive, they tend to sort of calm down too. So just note that. It's the same way if you ever notice children or animals, they very much react to your energy. If you start to cry, they can cry. If you get upset, they get upset. If you start screaming, they do the same. And when you notice children and animals that are kind of agitated constantly, you wonder what the environment is around them, because they tend to be sponges for that. So back to that idea of absorption. Try to put yourself in places where people are acting from a place of love and peace, and then that's going to allow you to be in that space and then ultimately attract it as well. As we said earlier, the channeled information was that this was a time to sort of take things in. It makes a lot of sense then that death is the catalyst for this month. Transformation, change, a portal between two places. We see a very sort of duplicate message here about seasons, or I should say a double strong message about seasons here. For some of you, that change could take up to a year to happen or to set in. But what I see at the beginning is hopefully a change in prosperity for you, a new job, a new relationship, or new opportunity. And it's something that can last a while. It doesn't feel like it's ephemeral. It feels like it's long lasting. The important thing for you, though, is to temper and to deal with emotional baggage and to try to channel that passion into productivity, knowing that once you do that, you step the line from this sense of it being in loss to being in growth. And it's interesting how the energy and the coloring of these cards is very similar. You have to sort of mourn what is lost, and then all of a sudden something new can come into your life. And we get a lot of Genesis growth energy, a lot of green in all of these cards. In health, it's a time to seek knowledge, seek new insights, try different things when it comes to like meditation, Pilates, Eastern medicine. When it comes to money, there's a growth opportunity, but you have to decide if you're ready for the change. Some of you aren't because justice was reversed. Choosing a path of peace, both in how you deal with love and also how you approach the future, knowing that peace and love go hand in hand. and that they're also something that can inspire people around you, even if they're not existing in that frequency. These two frequencies are very, they spread very quickly. I want to say infectious, but that doesn't always have good connotations. I would say there's something that people can gravitate towards, and it can really change them in a positive way, open them up to all of the possibilities. So the sooner you can get in that frequency, the sooner things start to grow around you in a positive way, that you can start to manifest your dreams, and you can start to embrace all of these opportunities that seem to want to rush in this month. Overall, some really great things. A little bit of emotional things that you have to work through this month, though, and I think it's worth going through it and talking to someone if you need, because whenever we get so many cards here about transition, death, and emotional weight, it might be helpful to talk to a counselor, a friend, or someone that you love so that they can help you. Speaking of someone that is here for assistance, if you ever feel like you want to talk about a change going on in your life, whatever it may be, feel free to reach out to me. The first link below the video shows a link to my booking system where you can look at rates and availability. If that makes sense, I'm here for you. Another way that you can give back to the channel is to join me on Patreon, or to do a one-time donation through my website, or a recurring one if that is something that feels good to you. That goes directly into helping me make time for these videos, put energy and money into the production costs. So thank you in advance if you feel drawn to do that as well, but that's optional. Another way that you can help is simply by clicking the like and subscribe buttons, as well as opting into notifications. You can share this with someone you love, or you could join me on social media. Click on the third link to find out how to connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as my newsletter, which is free and usually sent out about once a month. With all of that being said, that is the end of everything that I have to say for January. I just want to encourage you to embrace what is wanting to come in, because these two cards really speak to opportunity and growth after a period of sacrifice. So I think you've earned whatever beautiful things are on the horizon for you. You just have to believe that it's something that you're ready for, that you're deserving of, and that is worth the sort of trade-off that I see for some of you. All right? Wishing you love and light and insight in all of your days. And if you ever need anything, like I said, click on that first link and I'm happy to help. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. I'll see you next month, okay? Take care.